This is Noah Wasmer, and this is our first installment of Ask Me Anything. I am filming here live in my home office here in Atlanta, Georgia. One of the first questions people ask is, where have I been? Well, obviously on August 14th, my son, William, was born right after we had VMworld in the US. And then shortly after, we had our customer advisory board in Melbourne, Australia. And so people are wondering, where am I? Well, I'm happy to say, let me show you where I've been. I have been raising this little guy. His name's William. Can you say hi, buddy? Hi. Hi, everybody. Well, he is doing fantastically well, and I'm excited to say that I'll be back at VMware shortly. And in fact, I should be back by Halloween. So it's been amazing to have the time with them. So thank you to everybody that's helped me make this little guy happy and healthy. And again, I look forward to seeing you soon.
The question is, how do I stay on top of current technology trends, especially ones that affect my work? Well, it's a tough one, today, with the amount of information that you get and the ability to sort of filter that. So I've always prided myself on sort of efficiency of information consumption, if you will. So what I do is I do a few things. First of all, I subscribe to a few blogs that I get on my sort of homepage feed. Still use Yahoo because it just works. But it's a good feed aggregator, so I get feeds from Barron's, from sometimes from the Wall Street Journal. TechCrunch, right, is another one I use. So that's one aspect of it. The second thing that I do is actually the only social media I indulge in, LinkedIn, and I get a lot of interesting sort of articles forwarded to me. I browse through it probably once a day, so I get my fill from LinkedIn. And the third one, I end up talking to a lot of people in the Valley. I just have lived here forever and know a lot of people. I have many friends that are entrepreneurs and ex-entrepreneurs. I have friends that are venture capitalists, so I tend to keep up with them as much as possible. Sometimes it gets hard, but always learn a lot from them, right? And then just through conversations, I think VMware actually has a pretty good sort of news feed they send out called Above the Fold, which is pretty good for VMware-centric news. So I get my fill, always like today's millennials, I suppose. I'm on my phone when I have breaks, and I use that to catch up on interesting news. So.
First, the question is, with technology evolving so quickly, what do I do to keep up to date or to keep informed? First, I would love for folks to check out some of the venture capitalists, right? Andreessen Horowitz, Sequoia, Benchmark Capital, the Greylock, right? Phenomenal set of reading on their blogs around what's coming next. And I think you're going to find a lot of focus on AI and machine learning and some of the work in security. Really, there's been a growing shift towards the enterprise on almost explicitly the areas that we've been focused on, right? How do we help make automation faster and simpler and easier so employees get the right information, that we're reducing, overhead costs, that we're helping to really get the mundane tasks automated, and then really find new ways to be smarter about how we deliver services to employees and even consumers. And so I find those blogs to be a great source of what's coming next. I also love, I'm so passionate about this space, so that I'm constantly tinkering at night, on weekends, any moment I can find that I'm not working with my kids or family, reading new books on everything from the AWS Solutions Architect Guide, right? Really understanding that DevOps process and what's changing. Looking at, the idea of measuring what matters, right? How do we have the key data points that we want to measure for success of the business? For me as a manager, right? The 15 commitments of conscious leadership. How to really teach yourself to be self-aware of what am I personally doing to create the culture and communication styles within an organization. So, it's important to really understand what's going on in the community, to see what technology is doing to evolve through blogs, just through curiosity and researching and getting hands-on, but also looking at what are the key skills that are important for your job, everything from being a strong manager all the way through to what is the changing of the software development process, the new way of writing code with DevOps as an example.
All right, my favorite family traditions. Well, we have a few. The most favorite one, for me at least, is we travel twice a year, and my kids are older, so I've had the opportunity to do exotic vacations. It's always a challenge to come up with sort of the next vacation spot. So we do one in winter, one in summer, and it's also a challenge with four of us to a sort of match schedules, and second is to sort of match interests, and it's a challenge to sort of trump the prior one. So fortunately, unfortunately, I'm sort of the travel planner in my family. So a lot of it is sort of in some ways an intellectual quest to find the next sort of interesting vacation. So that's our tradition, and the fun part is summer ends and it's time to look forward to the next one in winter, and vice versa. So that's what we enjoy. It's certainly one of our traditions. We have more, but this is the one that jumps out.
Right, next question. Microsoft, right? Microsoft seems to be catching up on device management. Is our strategy shifting? Should we be partnering more, or are we going to continue to compete? Well, obviously, competing with Microsoft for the last 20 years, it's a combination, right? We have to embrace Microsoft because they're going to be, Office is going to be prevalent. Azure AD is going to be common in our customer base. Customers are going to run on Azure. And that's where we've embraced those technologies, and we need to continue to do so. In fact, we need to embrace them and extend them. If we can look at things like Zoom and how do we tie that in better as a better experience for web conferencing, make that a piece of the architecture that helps to really continue our heterogeneity, our Switzerland approach, where we can embrace the best technologies in the market, like what we're doing with Mac, right? Embracing both virtual applications and desktops on top of Mac management, something Microsoft has to partner to do, right? We're looking at Android Enterprise. How can we take advantage of all those different capabilities and personas available on that device? Chromebooks, right? Again, how can we really make that a platform that's successful in the market? As we stretch into new things like device management of Apple TVs and some of the new Samsung flips, right? That overall heterogeneity is going to be key to our strategy. So what we've been investing in, I couldn't believe in it more. Again, embracing Microsoft where it makes sense. Competing by helping our large enterprise customers connect into these next-gen services is absolutely the right approach. We have to continue to execute, which means making our products stable, eliminating regressions, making sure our security is world-class, and then really building out the intelligence cloud, and obviously improving the user experience so that employee loves our product, right? Just absolutely loves our product is key to our success.
So the question is, what is the last game I played? The interesting thing about me is I don't like video games. So I don't play games on the console, on the computer. My son, of course, does, or the phone. But I love outdoor sports. I've always played an outdoor sport all my life and try to be good at it. And the last game I played, of course, was a golf game. I played it last weekend, and I try to get out there every week. It doesn't happen often enough, but I try to get out and either play a game of golf or go hiking. So that's sort of the sport I play these days. I think those are the two main sports. But I've over the course of my life, I've played all kinds of sports. Field hockey, soccer, cricket, basketball. I've got a few trophies in my closet. So sport is an important facet of my life, but not board games or video games.
All right. Favorite family traditions. Obviously, it's Halloween. My wife and I, for the last 8 years, have been dressing up together. We've, we make silly times with our family. It's just the best, right? Kids love it. They get candy, more sugar than they possibly need. And so, one of our favorite family traditions is now what we call booing. My wife volunteers for the Children's Health of Atlanta, known as CHOA. And so we take these signs that are big ghosts and we plop them in the yard of our neighbors. We put candy on their doorstep, ring the doorbell, and run. It's something that's just an amazing family tradition. And obviously then our neighborhood gets together and we celebrate Halloween, and all the kids just have a fantastic time. And also Thanksgiving, great time to be thankful and grateful for all that we have. My family is coming into Atlanta, my sister, brother-in-law, and mom. So I'm just so excited for them all to meet Will this year. So that's a great family tradition.
Right, this is a fun question. What's my favorite food? Well, I have a lot of favorite foods, but I've got to tell you, for one, I've been a vegetarian for a long time, but that doesn't stop me from exploring foods. A lot of people actually call me a food snob because I'm very picky about the kind of food I eat. Not so much the type of food, but the quality and the freshness are super important to me. And people give me a hard time both at work and at home. I like to have foods across the world. My favorite universal food actually is pasta, right? It's a little bit mundane, but I think the simpler the pasta, the better it is. And many Italians, including Maurizio, actually told me that. So I actually do believe that I have taste there. But I like to sample foods from all over the place. I was in Japan recently, and I go looking for sushi, but I look for vegetarian sushi, and it turns out it's kind of hard. But there is actually a chain there that is one of the best chains, most popular one. You got to wait outside, but they actually serve that, and so I just went to that 3 days ago. And I love to eat food in Barcelona. I get to go there once a year, and I love tapas, right? So eat that. I actually like Mexican food, so I try to discover all the interesting taquerias in the Bay Area, and I'm always on the lookout for great pizza. And in the Bay Area, that means having to go to the city. So exploring places. The good news is my family is a bunch of foodies too, so it all works out. And actually, the other tradition we have is on many of our birthdays we go to Napa, not for the wine, of course, but mostly for the food.
Tradition. Okay, last game I played. We just got back from a trip in the Blue Ridge Mountains where we had no connectivity, which was interesting. I was a little twitchy, but we played analog games, right? Sorry, Uno, Rummy Cube, Chutes and Ladders. It was just fantastic. My girls and I had a fantastic time. We did puzzles. I just loved it, and it made me really remember, just that value of playing together as a family. On console gaming, man, I wish I could had more time for it. I love it. I have been playing this shuffleboard game on Apple TV. My girls are incredibly good at it. They have fun with it, so this is something that I've been spending time doing.
Look, for me, professionally and personally, I think they're related. For me, I think it's the ability to make an impact on people, right? So professionally, it's clearly the ability to build a successful business, but having a great time doing it, and with in the company of the right people, where you're enjoying the journey as opposed to the destination. And personally, it's the same thing. It's having an impact on my family. It's having an impact on other folks. I've been trying to do more of social impact type work, whether it's through mentoring, picking up a project. I hope to find more time as the years go by. So ultimately, it's for me, that's what gives me joy, is making an impact on humanity at large.
Doing. Last but not least, what does success look like for me, both personally and professionally? On the professional side, I think it's really our goals, right? To continue to see growth in the business, continue to see customers loving and embracing our product. Most importantly for me is to see the team grow and thrive. Right, that we have such amazing set of leaders and folks that are up and coming. I want to see your careers grow here at VMware, really embracing our product. Coming up with your ideas and seeing them all the way through fulfillment. I'd love to see our managers really focus on their management skill sets. I'd love to see our individual team members to really focus on what's important for you in your career and help to really develop you holistically. On the personal side, I have 3 statements. My 3 priorities are faith, family, and invention. That faith is a big part of being thankful for what the skills that I have and the family and the community that I'm in. How do I do my very best job every day to be a steward of the community, of the resources that I have access to, and how do I help really do the best I can to serve? From my family perspective, I just am so thankful that we have happy and healthy all around, now with Will included. And on invention, I love to dig in and really help work with the teams to figure out what can we do next. Like, how do we make sure that we're on the bleeding edge? And it's such a great opportunity to be part of VMware and the Epic values that brings all of this together. So hopefully this gives you a direct answer, and I'm looking forward to many more of these Ask Me Anything. Please contribute them in. Thank you so much. Bye.